Next, there also in relationship to strengthening family ties, there are also new roles and opportunities within the family. Lofgren stated, "It is obvious that the beach blanket, the family trailer, the cabin by the lake, or the hike in the wild open up these possibilities of finding new sides of yourself, your relations, and others, to others, or with nature." Change and flexibility is another benefit that comes. In the 1903 Guide to the Catskills, we read, "We need change and cannot live on monotony or systematic routine. Every one of the five senses need a new diet and change of regime. This cannot be had in the atmosphere or horizon of the town home, even with the entire cessation of work and business. All must be changed. The air, the scenery, the environment, the room, the food, the people we meet, the sounds we hear, to make the rest complete and secure the benefits desired. These things we have learned during recent years in the ethics of a summer vacation, which are being studied by careful observers and scientists." And here we continue, 106 years later. Stability and ritualizing of family vacations is another benefit. Lofgren also stated, "The 8-hour drive had its own micro-rituals and traditions. From the moment one of my sisters always chose to get carsick at the ceremonial lunch at the same old restaurant, preferably with the same menu as last June, we had to keep up the traditions of the drive in detail. Hey, we always stop here." There were constant references to landmarks past or things that had changed since last summer. We were driving back in time to the territories of all those early summers. Approaching the coast, we got ready for the standard game, who could spot the ocean first. And the last of the family benefits that we found is the simplifying of life. At the Little Hill Farm, we bathe our souls in a delicious now. The straining forward for a better tomorrow is stopped a bit. That's again from the Catskills Guide. The individual benefits include the benefits of being in nature, the benefits of nature. We become acquainted with nature and receive the spiritual, physical, and restorative benefits many believe come through contact with the outdoors. Susan Rue talked about that in her recent book on family vacations. Development of nationalism. Families traveled to acquaint children with their own heritage and to see themselves as citizens of a mighty nation. Travel helped children forge a personal and civic identity. Again, that was Susan Rue. Educational opportunities. A Ford advertisement back in 1959 called their vehicles America's Schoolhouse on Wheels. Those are many of the benefits we experience. Of course, there are challenges, as Sue identified as well in family vacationing. Increased conflict and tensions are common. Lofgren, again, recounting one of his own personal experiences of his first family vacation, said, "Unpack and fix dinner, nag the kids, scold and get mad when you turn nasty over after sitting in the car too long or nearly getting run over. In the heaviest traffic, the wife fell asleep in the front seat. The driver was nervous and under stress in the traffic, and out of balance in his words and expressions. The results could be hours-long silence between the spouses, until one of the children let out a howl when they began to fight in the back of the fine new car." Another challenge, as Sue mentioned again, is work. Family vacations are work, especially for the mothers. An immigrant woman in the 20s, and I won't try and, she wrote it in her accent, I won't try and copy her accent, but she said, "That ain't no holiday for us woman. It's just wash and cook, just like the way it is at home. Just do the same." So, different interests, of course. You know, Sue talked about, or maybe it was Brian talked about the different age groups, and maybe what's fun for the 4-year-old isn't fun for the 16-year-old, and the mom and the dad, and etc. Unmet expectations. I love this picture. Lofgren, in regards to unmet expectations, said the cottage utopia charged with so many assumptions and yearning daydreams creates a constant tension between winter anticipation and summer frustration. Often the few vacation weeks fail to live up to the heavy load of those winter expectations. Sandcastles don't always work out. A friend of President Lyndon Johnson, President Johnson asked him to take his family dog on a vacation with him for one reason. He happened to be an African American gentleman, and he, in response to that request, said, "We drive for hours and hours, we get hungry, but there's no place on the road to stop and go in and eat. We drive some more. It gets pretty hot. We want to wash up, but the only bathroom we're allowed in is usually miles off the main highway. We keep going till night comes, till we get so tired we can't stay awake anymore. We're ready to pull in, but it takes another hour or so to find a place to sleep. You see, what I'm saying is that a colored man's got enough trouble getting across the South on his own without having a dog along." So discrimination, luckily we've come some way in that regard, perhaps not far enough, and so that impacts people's experience as well. Another challenge is leaving work behind. The electronic leash was mentioned before. Aron says, "America was founded on the virtues of work, discipline, and industry. These are what provided well-being for not only the nation, but individuals within it. With work being so ingrained in American citizens, many people had a difficult time vacationing without feeling like they were jeopardizing their commitment to their work." And finally, safety. Children are... I love that picture as well. Children aren't able to read the caution signs, though. Luckily, there's illustration to help them. But in regards to thermal dangers at Yellowstone, etc., Rue said, despite signs instructing parents to watch their children, the accidents that occurred demonstrated that parents were unable or unwilling to control the actions of their children. Now, Sarah is going to talk a little bit about what this why we went through this and what this really means.
And a lot of as we look through kind of the history of family vacations, a lot of the benefits and challenges that were described, you know, from the early 1800s through the 1970s are still the same today. But then, so Rue in her book said, if the family vacation is such an ordeal, why do we go on vacation together? But then, like Sue talked about, it is hard, but then there are those benefits. Many families believe that the potential benefits of vacations together outweigh the negative costs, and the travel industry, of course, wanted to encourage the large numbers of families to travel. So both families and the travel industry took steps to help people negotiate those challenges and be able to vacation together. Okay, so for families, we won't go into much depth, but steps that they took to negotiate the challenges was preparation by the family, sharing the workload so that it wouldn't be so much work just for the moms, expressing needs. A lot of the parents talked about how they would, you know, make it known to hotels or to restaurants what they needed. Taking family trips, if you could go back, in conjunction with business trips. A lot of people start to do that. And then also going and learning. A lot of families learned that as they just went on the vacations, they were able to learn how to deal with the hard things with vacations. As far as the travel industry, they increased accessibility. There's one story about at Niagara Falls. A lot of people want to see the falls, so they made some easy walking paths so that people could enjoy views from places. Addressing needs of families, things like fast food restaurants, motels started to spring up to help families travel. And also cleanliness people really emphasized that to appeal to the mothers. Services and products were developed, like Disney's baby stations. The little car johns were made. They're little portable toilets with plastic disposable liners, disposable baby bottles, and disposable diapers to make traveling easier. And then a lot of places really focused on providing family-friendly experiences and enjoyable activities for all the family members, so really cater to that family market. Cost, things like Holiday Inn was made by someone who was traveling, and he said, you know, we're at this hotel and I don't think they should charge for kids. I think that discourages parents from bringing their kids or from being honest, so I want to make a hotel chain that kids can stay for free. So doing things to help families with the cost.